Today I'd like to show you how to use the square notcher, and that's what this is called. So if you can see right here, there's a handle here and then there is a lock. The reason why we lock that is so other people don't try to cut things that aren't supposed to. This actually works just like our shear. We have a cutting edge here and here, and the tolerance is the same as our shear. So we definitely only cut one piece of metal at a time, and we only cut metal at a time. And I believe the capacity for this might be 16 gauge, but I'm thinking it's actually 20 gauge looking at it. Anyway, I'm just going to take a piece of metal, and as we pull down the lever, you can see that this all comes down. And of course, the blades are exposed, so you got to be careful with that. So if I want to put something in here, I can just go ahead and cut down like that. You can see that it gives me this nice square notch. Again, I'll show you that too, even if you wanted to do something like this. So it is very handy piece of machine to do. And a lot of times we use these for more of a kind of a production where we want to end up doing several things at a time. And of course, you remember, I'm just using a sample piece, and I did lay this out with the ham and our tabs and everything. So this one here, I happen to have cut it with the snips. Of course, you're always welcome to do that. And another thing too is I've also then laid this out. One of the things that you have to be careful with this is you can see that I do have my tab in here. Well, if I'm not sure where my lines are, I could end up cutting that tab off. So sometimes what is nice is you can see that I have this one marked out. I wouldn't do that totally because then it kind of hides my line. But as you can see that I'm going to line this up in here. You can see that I'm doing that, and I'll bring the blade down a little bit, and I'm going to line up on my cuts. So I'll cut like that, I'll line that up, and then I still have my tab, but I need to finish off, of course, with my snips. But you can see that I've got this nice straight edge, and I'll go ahead and I'll cut like so. So then I'll definitely have cut that out, and you can see that I've done this. All right, what I recommend is not to do this, because what happens is our mark can end up covering up our line here. What I do is I just put a little bit of a black mark there. And the only reason I do that is just so that I know which ones I'm going to cut on. And again, I'll bring my square notcher down, and I'll line up my scribe there, and I'll line up my scribe here. So once I've lined that up, I'll go ahead and I'll push it down. So I'll try to get that a little closer for you. You can see that I do have, my scribe is still here, and I will still have to notch that. As you get better with this, you should be able to see, and again, now I don't have anything marked, you should be able to see where your marks are, and then to know what you're cutting. So again, I would cut like this. This does have the ability that we could put stops on here, and then we would all be able to use that. But the problem that you would have with that is obviously I cut it this way, but then I cut it this way, and it's down. So what you would end up having to do is you'd always having to know which side you are to flip it. And that sometimes can become very confusing to some students, and I understand that. And again, just to finish it off, I have my marks here. I would then cut in my tab like so. And take those off, and then obviously here, and then I would be ready now to break at least that side. And then when we're done at the end of the hour, we want to make sure that we do lock this up. The reason being is because people have realizing that this thing will cut other things. It'll cut wire, it'll cut metal that's too heavy, it'll cut multiple pieces at one time, but it ruins it almost immediately. This machine, I ended up fixing it, having new blades put in, and it's all working fine. So that's why we locked this up, so people won't abuse this machine. So when I got this machine a few years ago, people had been cutting wire with it. So then now we have new blades in here. So now it works out really well. So it's a neat machine. It's just another tool for you to be able to use in the shop if you choose to. And if you don't, that's fine too. It's just available for you to use. Good luck.